Hello, I'm William Hildebrand. We're at Paris's Branly Museum for a celebration of the Indian film industry. The exhibition is called Bollywood Superstars. Let's go take a look. The exhibition looks back at a century of the Indian film industry. With more than 2,000 movies per year, it's the biggest in the world. And it looks at its origins from performing arts and silent films to today's big Bollywood blockbusters. What's on display, though, is more than just cinema. It's also culture. Like this 20th century wedding dress, which has inspired some costumes. It needed 10 people just to lift its train into place. Also on display are the films and their stars. They take center stage. With an accent on Bollywood, the Hindi language sector that began in the 1930s in Bombay, now Mumbai. Okay, everybody, let's get the light. The most famous part of a much wider Indian film industry. To find out more, I spoke to one of the co-curators, Julien Rousseau. So Julien, first of all, congratulations on the exhibition. Tell us, first of all, over a century of Indian cinema, how did you narrow down what to include and what not to include?
Was a difficult question, actually. So we focus on two main topics, the history and the mythology, which are two important subjects for Indian cinemas. And of course, the exhibition cannot be complete history of Indian cinema, which is a too wide topic. But we focus on this subject because they were very important in the history of Indian cinema.
Do you have a favorite piece here on display?
It's difficult to choose, but maybe I can mention the first painting of the exhibition, which is very impressive paintings that show Krishna in his temple. And it illustrates the concept of darshan, is the view, the magic of the view in Indian philosophy, in Indian religion. And it's really connected with the first cinema, which was a cinema about mythology and Indian gods.
This is all very specific at times when we look at India's rich history. And I'm wondering, an exhibition like this a generation ago might not have drawn the excitement that it does today. Is that because the French public's taste is broadening, or did Bollywood find a way to make itself more appealing to other parts of the world?
It's difficult to say, but Indian movies in Europe and specifically in France, they are not so well distributed. So French public doesn't know very well Indian cinema if we compare with other countries and other continents, where the cinema, actually the Indian cinema is worldwide well known.
Okay, well I have to say my team and I are excited to have a look. We're going to go take a spin to see some of what's on display. Thank you, Julien.
Thank you.
Now, obviously, music and dance are an integral part of Bollywood films. Choreographer Mahina Khanum is based here in Paris. She's actually teaching dancing at this exhibition. Monty Francis went to meet her.
She is an unlikely star of Bollywood dance. We caught up with Mahina Khanum at this photo shoot where her strong connection to the art of classical and modern Indian dance was on display. Born and raised in France, she developed an appreciation for the art and for her ethnic Indian ancestry at an early age.
There is a lot of emotion, there is a beautiful philosophy behind all those Indian dances that need to be shared.
She's sharing, and people are taking notice. Mahina's dances and choreography have received attention all over the world. 25 million views and counting on YouTube when she brought her troupe to the Eiffel Tower. And she's landed jobs as a choreographer on Indian films and Hollywood sets as well. Most recently, choreographing a scene for a Netflix film starring Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. Classically trained in ballet, Mahina's real journey in dance began at 17, when she won a government scholarship to study in India, eventually training under Guru Shankar Behera, a specialist in the storytelling dance form known as Odissi.
Vite, tu peux venir un peu plus vers l'avant avant de filer, tracer. It's a beautiful dance form that used to be part of the religious ceremony. Today it's mainly performed on stage. It has a very complex language of mudra, which is like the hand gestures. It was a true revelation and kind of connecting with my true self. So that was, the beginning of a long story.
It's a story in which each movement has a meaning.
To get ready to meet your lover, for example, so there is those elements which are really important, all those jewelry here and makeup. You have a lot about nature, also like different flowers and the bee, for example, coming and being confused and getting closer to the lady's face.
Far from the lights of stage and screen, Mahina shares her love of dance with hundreds of students who are lining up to take her weekly Bollywood classes at this dance studio in Paris.
I watched Bollywood films and I dance at home, but I never took a class until now. But dancing takes a lot of precision, and that's what I like. But it's rhythmic and precise, and it's a really good workout too. I'm tired now.
Mahina says that Bollywood dancing draws on both classical influences and modern ones like hip-hop. She teaches her students that there's an element of acting involved and that they can better know themselves by inhabiting a character and by storytelling through dance.
This class brings me so much joy for being alive. We feel transported to India or another place, to a world where there are many different colors and a lot of joy.
Whether in the classroom or on stage, the inner journey and the outward expression. It's a sacred space for Mahina, both in and out of the spotlight.
Now, it's not all song and dance. Ahead of next year's elections, the ruling BJP party is using cinema to push its Hindu nationalist agenda more and more. Catherine Viet reports.
A true story, according to the film's director. The vaccine war, released at the end of last month, follows a team of scientists as they race against the clock to develop India's own COVID-19 vaccine. It was praised by the Prime Minister himself during a rally.
I've heard that the hard work carried out day and night by our scientists to fight COVID in India has been depicted in the vaccine war. Every Indian should feel proud after watching that film.
But many have called the film government propaganda, where the journalists who ask questions are villains pitted against the patriotic scientists.
India can't do it.
Issues key to India's battle with COVID, like the oxygen deficit or the controversy surrounding the vaccine's approval, are conveniently left out. The power of cinema and its ability to influence public opinion has long appealed to those in positions of authority. And Bollywood is no exception, particularly in the run-up to the 2024 election.
Bollywood has tremendous power over the popular imagination in India. No other government has tried to use Bollywood for its own agenda like the Modi government has. There's like a whole bunch of things that they want to do as per this vision of a Hindu India or Hindu Rashtra that they want to build, which means Hindu nation.
Since coming to power, Modi and his government have been accused of promoting a Hindu nationalist agenda and marginalising minorities, especially Muslims. The Vaccine War's director, Vivek Agnihotri, is well known for his previous film, The Kashmir Files, also inspired by supposed true events. Modi's party even gave out free or discounted cinema tickets to get people to see the film that recounts the period in the early 90s when Islamic militants forced Hindus to flee the Indian-administered but highly disputed region. The opening scene, which shows a young boy being beaten up by a violent group of Muslim men, sets the tone for the rest of the film. Another huge success in Indian cinemas was The Kerala Story, which tells the tale of a Hindu woman manipulated into converting to Islam before she joins the Islamic State group. Like the others, it's been criticised for playing fast and loose with the facts that the story is based on, stoking divisions and reinforcing the nationalist ideology of Modi's government.
We have seen that in the past in India also, that people have ended up promoting the films, the politics, the icons of the ruling party and of the ruling class. It's much more now because this is possibly in the last several decades, this is possibly the most ideologically propelled regime India has ever seen.
Bollywood has historically transcended religious divisions, uniting people from diverse backgrounds. But as the election nears, productions are coming under increasing pressure from the government to tell one side of the story, or risk being targeted with bans or even legal action.
Well, the team and I would like to thank you for watching this special edition of Access Asia. That's it for now. Please stay tuned to France 24.